Neptune is the planet that is the higher octave, that is dreamy, is sensual, etheric, beautiful, serendipitous, sexual opportunities, romance, intimacy, and pleasure, boo. So let's talk about this because Neptune is actually a really interesting one when it comes to your AstroSex birth chart. Shameless squad. Neptune, the planet of illusions, delusions, mysticism, sacred sexuality, and spirituality here too, is a good one to really look at in your birth chart, boo. So this is an outer planet. It comes after Uranus, before Pluto here overall, and Pisces, babies. Let me know where you're at below. Get some Pisces emojis going in the comments too. Let's talk about this. If you have ever connected with the Pisces and they're very spiritual or mystic or dreamy or etheric, or they're kind of like this spiritual person but they don't realize that they're spiritual, like that's Neptune energy. So it's like this very higher octave of having this sacred sex, sacred lover, sacred spiritual connection here overall. It's very enlightened specifically. So, Shameless God, what up if you're new? I am Shamelessly Sexy Jackie Boo. I'm a certified sex therapist, transsexual confidence coach, psychic medium, spiritual entrepreneur, tarot reader, all the damn things, Reiki practitioner, and astrologer here. So, make sure to subscribe, turn the notification bells on, like this video, drop me a comment down below, be supportive, and stay shameless, yo. Let's talk about Neptune and how this can show up in the birth chart. So, Neptune, all those beautiful energies. Here's the downside. This can really show us in the birth chart, the house, the sign that it's in, the degrees that it's at, any angles, any aspects that are happening to it, how we might put other people on a pedestal, how the wool is also being pulled over our eyes, how we might be delulu in relationships, boo, any illusions here as well. Neptune could be like, you know, I describe it as Sheena on Vanderpump Rules. If you know, you know, like when she's like, he's my best friend, he's my best friend, he's my best friend, he's my best friend with everybody she's dated. I'm like, where the F is her Neptune and what sign is it in? Because she could be a hopeless romantic depending on what house and what sign. And I've got my suspicions with that one here. So Neptune, not only is it this like higher octave of Venus of like spiritual love and sacred sexuality and this ethereal like relationship and this spiritual type of union, depending on what sign it is in, it is also hidden in the psyche and things that we might, you know, betray ourselves with or lie to ourselves about if we're not in the best, you know, committed relationship, partnerships. The sex wasn't that good. The date wasn't that good, but we would be like, I love them. We're going to get married soon. And we only went on like 4 dates. And it's like, no. So Neptune, depending on like what sign is in, what house it is in, this could also be like, wow, you get connected with somebody from a past life. This could be peaceful energy, feeling like at home with the person. There could also be obviously hopeless romantic that we talked about. Different like imaginative impressions of people. This can show where you also might self-sacrifice your love for others and be too overgiving, or even very much so how you kind of meet compassionate, really loving, genuine connections in the world on a soul, spiritual level, even sexual, spiritual level too. It can also be an idealistic admirer, but there could also be some signs and synchronicities that, depending on where your Neptune is in, there might be some unavailable partners and it's just like, nope. Or there could even be some sexually psychic connections between you and a person partner. So that's why this is so important, Shameless Squad, to know what sign it is in, to know what house it is in, because we're all over the map with that energy here, right? And that can also feel like Neptune, because as beautiful and as enlightened and as dreamy and as loving and as passionate that it can kind of be when it comes to love and pleasure and wanting to make a really good first impression, maybe on a date or with a person or in a new connection, or committed relationship or whatever, it can also be how we lie to ourselves. And so badly sometimes we get into relationships or sexual connections with people, or even long-term commitments, partnerships, whatever relationships might look like, and we might just stay in it and say everything's good, everything's fine, we're all good. And we might mask certain things, but underneath it all, it's like, it's not fine. It's not fine. I'm not happy. Or there could be some hidden things that really come to light here. And it might also show us how we need to emotionally heal, how we need to maybe be open to love and not settle for less, how we need to be mindful of sex, intimacy, romance, relationships. All of those things are very different. And depending on another person's Neptune, your Neptune, what it is in, there could be a lot of themes that just show up when it comes to astro sex, when it comes to these things, and especially with the relationship with yourself. To be mindful of, like, don't deceive yourself. It's like Seven of Swords energy. Like, ooh, where are you shooting yourself in the foot? Or, ooh, where are things being sneaky? Or, ooh, what am I not looking at here? Or even Seven of Cups, like, la-di-da-di-da, head in the clouds, still Lulu energy, life's pretty damn good, whatever. But maybe your Neptune is in a placement where you're unavailable as a long-term committed partnership or relationship, and people might be like, do you have fears of commitment or intimacy issues here? Like, I'm just curious, what's going on with that? And that shows up in a birth chart, Shameless Squad. Or, you know, when you get people and you see your friends or your family members and you're like, wow, they really ghost people a lot. It's like, look at their Neptune. Like, that is escapism, and is also addictions and undoing and patterns. Neptune is also bed pleasures here as well. It is very much so, can be very, I want this, I need this, I must have this. And it could also be a lot of hidden secrets in a birth chart too, especially when it comes to sex, especially when it comes to relationships. And so those are the shadows that we do need to look at with these general themes when it comes to a Neptune in a sign, in a placement, in a house, in a birth chart. That's layered in itself here. And that's just a couple things I listed right off the bat, right? And so it's like, how can you really maybe learn to not ghost people or communicate better? How can you learn that, you know, to communicate with people when you go on dates with them that, yeah, I'm not looking for a serious commitment, or I'm not looking for a marriage, I'm not looking for this, right? And be honest right off the bat. If you don't want to be married, or you have a fear of marriage or a fear of intimacy, and is that holding you back in some sort of way with some sort of thing that's in your psyche, and you're just like, but it'll be all good, I'll be a bachelor, a bachelorette for my whole life, and maybe it's not as satisfying as you want. And then later down the line, you realize, no, I want to be with a spiritually enlightened person in a long-term commitment. And I realize I push people away, or I run away from relationships because I'm actually afraid, because maybe I've been hurt in the past, or maybe I've seen that from parents, or maybe there's been a lot of cheating, or maybe there's been a lot of secrets, or maybe there's been hidden enemies in relationships or affairs or things of that sort. And Neptune is something to be very mindful of, to not sexually self-sabotage or relationally self-sabotage. And it's really about going within to understand, what is it that I really want, but I might be too afraid to face. Neptune can be similar to Pluto. Pluto is like secrets, mysteries types of energy, but Neptune, that bitch is hidden, okay? That is the deeper dive. Get your shovels out. We're going like graveyard digging here, and it's funny because Pluto's like the planet of death, right? But like, it's deeper with that, because we so badly want to believe these things that we might tell ourselves, when really at the end of the day, that may not be the most thing that we're happy about with love or romance or sex or intimacy and pleasure. And we might bury that. And we might put the dirt back up on that thing. You know, if it's like affair, put that in the ground and you're like, throw the dirt over it, forget it, never happened, not talking about it, right? Or, you know, someone who maybe might be an unavailable partner or whatever, but like, you're like, well, at least I have a house, or I have a home with them, or at least I have kids with them, or, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's just bury it. We're going to say, you know, like, even though I'm not happy, I'm still going to keep going on with this relationship and just bury it, not talk about it. And that's not the point of Neptune, but that is what Neptune can have the tendency to do, of really being like the girl in Bridesmaids, the redhead, and she's like, I'm not tired. We need to shower before we go to bed. We need to clean ourselves. And then, like, he says he's tired, and then, I'm not tired. And she just wants sex, but she might lie and just bury that. And then she's crying, and then she's upset. And then boom, projection and suppression and repression of one's sexuality. And that's not good. And of one's fantasies, one's fetishes, different things. Neptune is the planet of fantasies and fetishes and things that you might want sexually in a relationship. And it's really about creating these opportunities for that, but not like burying anything that you truly want deep down inside here, okay? So Neptune can be, this very beautiful, etheric love on a very soul, spiritual, emotional, sexual, romantic, relational level. It can also be how we play ourselves and how we mask certain things and suppress and repress in life. So, Shameless Squad, if this interests you, I know I'm leaving you kind of on a cliffhanger, boo. Make sure to smash the like button. Drop me a comment down below what resonated with you, yo. Turn the notification bells on, everything like that, and subscribe to my channel too. Go to stayshameless.com if you want to be a part of my Astro Sex fam community. Round 1, when it comes to program 1 and 2 here specifically, I'm going to be uploading more videos about this. So I really hope that you like this information. I hope it's helpful as a glimpse into what you're going to get into these programs here, because I'm putting a lot of time, energy, and effort not only into creating those the past couple plus years, but also these videos for you. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. If there's a bestie, bring your astrology besties, have them sign up too, so we can talk all things astrology, boo. You can get your questions answered with me for 14 weeks exclusively. I would love to have you. So stayshameless.com, book a one-on-one consultation with me. Thank you all who have booked with me, and even hit the more ... description box below. It's in there too. I love you. Stay tuned for more, and stay shameless.